I'm Evan Wren, and this is the Countdown to Two-A-Days series, our daily look at an area football team and the key questions we'll be answering about that team at our August 20th preseason preview here at Big Country Preps. I'm with my partner, Dan Youngblood, via Zoom. And today, Dan, we've got the Early Longhorns.
Yeah, and this is a team that on paper should be in for an improved season. Actually had a rough year last year, going 1-9, but they've got 25 of the 31 Lettermen from last year's team back, including 9 starters on both sides of the football. The one real kind of interesting caveat there is that they will have are one of the many teams in our area that will have a new coach this year, as Coach Marvin Wilson has been promoted from their defensive coordinator position to replace Randall Case, who's out after 1 year there. So new coach, a lot of questions, and we'll talk about a few of the biggest ones here in just a few minutes. But on paper, this is going to be a very experienced early team, and that's a pretty good place to start.
All right, before we start talking about early, we need to remind you folks to please hit the subscribe button on YouTube. It's free. And then hit that little bell, and you'll get notifications each and every time that we come up with a new video there. And with that, Dan, it is time to talk about the early Longhorns and some key questions. Go ahead and fire away first.
And I think the biggest one is just with Coach Wilson taking over. I think they're planning on bringing in some new schemes, maybe making a move from the 3-3 stack defensively to the 3-4. Still be a spread team, but they're expecting some new concepts and some different wrinkles there. So my question is, with all of the guys they've got back from last year, 25 again, Letterman returning, 9 stars on both sides of the ball, how quickly can they adapt to the new schemes, the new coaches they have coming in? And get to a level where they're playing at their best, playing at their highest level. Because this team does have experience. If they can kind of just adapt quickly to what Coach Wilson's bringing there, I think they have an opportunity to take a pretty good step forward this year. But that's always a challenge. Anytime you have a new coach, you're talking about a lot of change, and there's going to be a learning curve there. I'm just interested to see how quickly they can kind of, I guess, just kind of get where they need to be in playing at their best level.
Early's not the biggest, team on the block. I know they're going to spread the field. They have a sophomore quarterback in Caden Wilson. And he's not through growing yet. He's 5'8" and 170. My question is, I know they're going to spread the field. So are they going to spread the field to run it? Or are they going to spread the field to throw it? Are they going to be pounding the football a little bit, spreading the field a little bit, and let their skill personnel gel in this new system? That's my question. Is the tack they will take
I think that's
early
an
on.
interesting question. Yeah, and that kind of leads me into the last one, which is about that quarterback position. Obviously, Weston Barton was a kid who took over from a receiver position to play quarterback last year, his senior season, put together a pretty solid season. But obviously, he has graduated, and like you said, now they've got a sophomore who looks like he'll be at least in the running for that spot in Wilson. So um, I'm interested to see what that quarterback position looks like this year. Obviously, the scheme's a big deal. We'll have to see kind of what they aim to do with that spread. But the quarterback's going to be a big part of what they're doing, regardless of whether it's a run based or a pass based system. The one thing that Caden Wilson will have in his favor is he's got a receiver in Andrew Reedy, a junior kid who's been great since he was a freshman. You're talking about a guy who's basically had 900 yards receiving, 900 plus yards receiving both seasons he's been at Early, a real weapon there. And then Cameron Love was a running back last year who had over 850 yards. So they do have some skill talent around their quarterback. But I am interested to see just like the learning curve of that player. Anytime you're throwing a sophomore into that spot, again, you're talking about some development that's going to have to happen. So I'm just eager to see how quickly that takes place and what they can do offensively and if they can uh, kind of grasp everything quickly enough, if they can take that step forward that you would expect when a team is returning basically an entire roster intact.
All right, and with that, we're going to be taking a look at Early's schedule for 2025. But first, we need to thank a few of our sponsors. Beginning with For the Love of the Game Broadcasting, and our old friend Terry Slavens, owner of K-Lakes 93.5 FM out of Brackenridge, 97.7 FM KATX out of Eastland, Classic Country AM 1330 out of Graham, 94.7 FM KWKQ out of Graham, KROO 1430 AM out of Bracken, KWBY 98.5 FM out of Ranger. That is For the Love of the Game Broadcasting. Also, Rob Durham, sales consultant at Bear Chevrolet Buick Cadillac up in Breckenridge. If you're in the market for a new vehicle or a used vehicle, call Rob. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever want to meet. Give him a shout at 254-559-2266. That's Rob Durham up at Bear Chevrolet Buick Cadillac in Breckenridge. And finally, Cavalry Resources and Construction, located up in Breckenridge, serving the entire big country, offering custom standing seam roofing made on location and all commercial roofing applications. Give Kobe Walker a shout at 254-246-5546. That is Cavalry Resources and Construction in Breckenridge. All right, and with that, it's time to take a quick look at Early's schedule for 2025. We'll start in the non-district portion. August 29th, we'll see a home date with Bangs, an area rival. Then three consecutive road dates at Hamilton, at Junction, and at Peaster on the 5th, 12th, and 19th, respectively, before finally returning home on September 26th to face the Comanche Indians. And then they jump into an open date.
Yeah, not a real forgiving non-district schedule, and their district schedule starts off tough as well. October 10th at home against Toller before they travel to Clifton on the 17th of October. They come back home to play Brady on the 24th, travel to Eastland on the 31st of October, and then wrap up their regular season schedule November 7th at home against Dublin. So a tough schedule, but at least they'll have some experience in their attempt to tackle it.
All right, and with that, the game of the year or games of the year, as I see it, Dan, I think the most important games are going to end up being Eastland on Halloween night and Dublin on the 7th of November. Regardless of how they do in that tough stretch against Toller, Clifton, and Brady, winning against Eastland and Dublin are going to be very important to jump into the playoffs. If they manage to knock off one of the big three, then they're going to be even better shape, and get a higher playoff seed if they can win against Eastland and Dublin.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. Those two games jump out to me for sure. That game at Eastland on Halloween night, I would say, is kind of the prioritize that one, just because if you do happen to fall to 0-3 to start district, that's a must win. So I think that's going to be an interesting stretch, and then I'll be interested to see if maybe Early can steal maybe that Clifton game in that first 3 game stretch. But yeah, tough schedule for sure, and it'll be fun to watch them navigate it.
And with that, it's about time to wrap up this edition of the Countdown to Two-A-Day series, the Early Longhorns. Quick reminder, August 20th, that's our big day. That's our preseason preview, the most comprehensive look at area football from any media source.
In the meantime, thank you for joining us for this episode of our Countdown to Two-A-Day series, and make sure you come back tomorrow when we take a look at the Eastland Mavericks here at BigCountryPreps.com.